All right, everybody, welcome to the Justice News Break. And we are covering a case out of Nevada today that everybody should be concerned with. And it is a case out of Nevada dealing with a car accident that prosecutors right now are considering going for the death penalty in this case. We're going to get into all the details of this. We're going to watch a short news clip. This article can be found on our website, justiceisaprocess.com. That's www.justiceisaprocess.com. Website link in the description, link to this article in the description as well for you to go over and check it out. But we're going to talk about the details here because this is something that should concern everybody out there when you have prosecutors considering a automobile accident for the death penalty. So without further ado, let's jump in here and let's get started talking about this. All right, so guys, here we are. We've got the article pulled up here. When a car crash becomes a death penalty case, and it says Clark, as it's leading out, Clark County prosecutors right now, as I said, are considering executing a 19-year-old over a traffic collision. And we're asking the question in this article and in this video today: is this justice, or is this a system reaching for the most extreme punishment it can find? And we're going to kind of give you at least our take on this by the end of this video, and we're going to invite you to go over here and review this article for a deeper take on this. There's also ability to join the discussion, comment on the article, comment on this video, and uh, let's get this issue out because it's something that is very surprising. Now, to start out here, what we are going to do first, before we get into the bigger discussion, we're going to watch a news clip courtesy of KTNV 13 Las Vegas. And this is going to give us a little background. It's only 2.5 minutes long. We're going to watch this, and this is going to give us the ability to understand a little bit about this. And then we'll get into what happened, our take, our breakdown, and what's going on here. So without further ado, let's jump in here and let's check out this clip here. All right, here we go, guys. Let's check this out.
This is still in its early stages, but the decision to even consider the death penalty shows just how serious prosecutors believe these allegations are. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson tells me this does not mean a final decision has been made, but it does trigger a formal review process reserved for the most severe murder cases.
There's a woman dead.
Twisted metal, shattered glass, and first responders rushing to help victims. Scene unfolding along West Cheyenne Avenue near North Jones Boulevard on the afternoon of November 18th.
That's the driver. He just got minor lacerations. His name's Jose.
Authorities say 19-year-old Jose Gutierrez slammed into a line of cars stopped at a red light. Gutierrez's pregnant girlfriend Adeline Duran Rincon and another driver, Edward Garcia, died at the scene. Vanessa Lainez Vasquez spent weeks in a medically induced coma before dying from her injuries earlier this month.
We are prepared to waive speedy trial rights today.
Gutierrez is now facing murder charges, and on Wednesday, his attorney told a judge prosecutors will be reviewing the case for the death penalty.
If a murder case has the potential to have an aggravating circumstance as part of the facts, then the case will go before our death penalty review committee.
District Attorney Steve Wolfson says that committee includes senior homicide prosecutors and even the defense.
We also invite the defendant's lawyer to come and present us with whatever information they would like. After this meeting, a decision is made.
In this case, the defense has suggested the crash may have been caused by Gutierrez suffering a seizure while driving, but prosecutors say they believe the actions were intentional.
Like 100 miles an hour.
Wolfson emphasized that while many murder cases go through this review, most do not result in a death penalty filing.
Many murder cases that have the potential for an aggravating circumstance go before the committee, but most of the time we decide not to file the notice of intent to seek the death penalty.
And because that review is scheduled for Tuesday, Gutierrez's arraignment has been pushed back to January 6th. His attorney says he plans to plead not guilty and also waive his right to a speedy trial.
All right, so there you have it, guys. So as you can see, this is not just your regular run-of-the-mill car accident. So there's a little bit more to it, obviously, than just simply, hey, this person was out and got in an accident. There's a high rate of speed, And as you're going to learn here as we get into this, you're going to hear that there's also a history here of some prior violence in the relationship, and that this is believed to have potentially been something that was that was intentional in order to harm his significant other. Now, this happened on November 18th, 2025. It happened about 3:30 in the afternoon in Las Vegas, right off the intersection of Cheyenne Avenue and Jones Boulevard. And what we have is a lady, his girlfriend, 20 years old. Her name's Adeline Duran Rincon, and she is pregnant, 11 weeks pregnant, and she's in the passenger seat. And apparently, the car, based on the investigation, accelerated rapidly from 9 miles per hour to over 100 miles per hour in a matter of seconds. And there's video evidence, as you've already seen in the video, and this is a clip of the video evidence. And it plows into a line of traffic. So it ends up being a 12-car accident. So it is the excessively high rate of speed. And then also on top of this, in the investigation, it was developed that there had been a history of apparently driving where he was driving at high rates of speed and threatening to wreck the vehicle. And it is this that the prosecutors developed the idea that he did this intentionally. Now, apparently, according to the defense and according to his attorney, and of course, this will go before the death penalty committee, he has a history, this individual had a history of seizures. So the defense is alleging that this was not the result of some uh, the dispute or argument or some intentional attempt to harm or injure his girlfriend, that this was a result of a seizure that came on and he involuntarily hits the accelerator. Now, here's the thing, there was no alcohol involved, there was no illegal drugs involved. He had a very small amount, minute amount of marijuana in his system, but it was not enough to have made any type of impact in this. So here are the timeline of events that we're going to discuss that we need to keep in mind here. In April 12th, 2025, the girlfriend called 911 claiming that she had been struck by Mr. Gutierrez. Officers arrived and he was charged. He charges at them. He threatens to kill and shoot them, and he's arrested. He's charged with a felony at that time. June 2025, prosecutors make a deal with him. He pleads no contest to misdemeanor resisting a public officer, and he's ordered to complete 8 hours of impulse control counseling. September 2025, he completes his court-ordered impulse control counseling. October 3rd, he's cited for speeding, going 52 and a 35. That ticket is later reduced to 40 and a 35. And then on November 18th, this happens. He's hospitalized with injuries. His girlfriend and another person pass away at the scene. There's another person that's in a coma. On the 25th, he's arrested. Bail's denied, because I guess that's when he's released from the hospital. And it's upgraded to open red rum, attempted red rum, and battery with a deadly weapon. On December 4th, the third victim succumbs to her injuries in the hospital. And then on December 9th, there's a preliminary hearing. The judge rules that there's enough evidence for the case to proceed to trial. And on December 17th, defense reveals prosecutors are taking the case to the death penalty review committee, and the arraignment gets pushed to January 6th. So it's coming up in a few days where we're going to know what they do now, or what they decide to do with this case. So the question here is, do you believe, and let us know in the comments, you can come over here and I'll show you exactly how you can make your voice known here on the website as well. Do you believe that a situation such as this, where there was an accident, a car accident, that again, we're not saying that it shouldn't be potentially considered for a life imprisonment or a substantial prison term. What we're saying is that this would be something that would be for the worst of the worst of the worst. And in a case like this, where it's completely unclear, it's not clear that this wasn't some sort of issue, medical issue, because remember, there's an element to this that he's driving 100 miles an hour. He didn't know if he was going to survive or not. So there's that element to this, that this was on what the intent was, or was this a moment in the moment he made a terrible decision, accelerates, and boom, goes in to the car. We have no idea, right, what happened. Prosecutors got to prove what happened beyond a reasonable doubt, but we don't know at this point what happened. But the theory that they're operating under is that the car is a weapon, and that he was using that to unalive his girlfriend, and of course he ends up unaliving others as well. They're pointing to the April incident. They're pointing to Duran, the Duran Ricon's mother, the fiance's mother, claims that he attempted to, that she was told by her daughter. Now that's hearsay, but that's hearsay that I'm sure they're going to find an exception to get it in. Potentially a present sense impression uh, um, exception, or they might, you know, to get the idea, to put it before the jury that she was afraid, and to look towards motive. The data also shows there was rapid acceleration, that it was a straight line trajectory, that there was no braking, and they say that they used the idea that it was the way a blank drives into a military base. A witness who served in the Israeli military compared it to a unalive bomber. So very powerful descriptions by the prosecutors on how they're describing all of this. Now the defense says no, there was medical problems, and that this was something that he suffered from since the age of 5. But they pushed back, but they said that if he would have actually lost consciousness, the car would have slowed down or drifted. It would have never been driven in a straight line at that speed. It would have actually gone off the path. That would have never maintained the straight trajectory. Now, this is going to come down to a battle of experts if this is raised. It's going to come down to medical experts. Looks like at the preliminary hearing, there were medical experts that did testify. And Dr. Keith Berry, he's a surgeon at UMC who treated Gutierrez. He fielded questions about seizure types and postictal state that follows them. And a neurologist from UNLV noted that not all seizures result in loss of consciousness. Some are convulsive. Some can cause a person to bite their tongue. So the defense is, at this point, I mean, they put up, even in the preliminary hearing, you normally don't see the defense put on evidence. They put on evidence. So now the judge still found that there was probable cause to proceed. But the bottom line is there's a question. And in a case like that, is it really appropriate to be considering the death penalty in this type of a situation? My position is no. Now, I am a little slanted because I don't believe that the death penalty should be given in any circumstances. That's just my opinion. I don't believe the state or the government should have the power to take a citizen's life. And I don't believe that us showing that we're as bad as the people who are committing these crimes, I don't believe that it's what makes us humane. It's what makes us different. And I believe firmly that a life sentence is just as rough and tough as a death sentence. In fact, I think it might even be a bit worse, in my opinion. Now, Nevada, you know, there's 51 people on death row right now, and they haven't put anyone to death since 2006. But still, it's you know, a possibility that if he were to be found guilty and given the death penalty, that they could do that. It would mean at some stage he would be put to death. And it's like I said, I think that there are other cases this should be reserved for. I'm hopeful that we're going to find out on the 6th that the death penalty committee has made the right decision here and opted not to proceed forward with the death penalty in a case like this. We shall see. But make your voice known, because it's important that you make your voice known on this and how you feel about it. And I want to know. I want to know how you all feel. I want to know whether you agree with this, you disagree with this, whether you think it's okay for the state and for the government to give the ultimate punishment in a case with this set of facts. Now, again, this gentleman is presumed innocent. The defense is not a matter, it's not a matter of did he do it, it's a matter of why he did it. And I think when you have a case like that, where there is question like this, I think these are the cases where you just take the death penalty off the table. It's not appropriate for it, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. I want to know your opinion. So, with that said, we're going to leave it here on this. Like I said, now you can go in. I'll show you here. If you look at the bottom, I should have done it when we were still inside the article. But you can go to at the end of this article. If you come into if you decide to come in, you can come in and leave us your thoughts on the website. You put your name down or whatever, however you want to be known, and leave us your comment. We will be featuring any comments left on the website in a follow-up Justice News Break, where we will do a follow-up on this or any future coverage. We will, this allows you to get our attention. There's a lot less comments going on here than on our YouTube page, where we try to moderate that. I try to get back and respond the best I can, but there's such a volume. So if you want your voice to be heard right here, or members, I always look at membership comments, and those will be being featured as well as we cover these cases. If I see any member comments on the member side of YouTube, I will be sure to feature them as well. So great way to get yourself known, great way to make your voice known to our community. Let us know how you're feeling about this case, because we want to know. With that said, guys, make sure you get over there to the website, check out the full article, check out the full discussion. We go deeper, more in depth, provide you with more information on this, discuss things in a way that you can on YouTube. So go over and check it out. In the meantime, guys, let justice prevail, and we will be talking to you very soon.
The system's rigged, man, it's time to break free. Eyes wide open, gotta see what I see. Standing on the front lines, fighting for the truth. Lift the veil of lies, it's time to be the proof. Take a stand, don't you back down. Raise your voice, let's shake the town. We're the voices that won't be ignored. Breaking chains, yeah, we're ready for war. With the power of the people, we'll make them see a world of justice unite.